Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So I wanted to bust out one of these team versus team videos. I probably, could have had the opportunity to do a couple more of these, this year. But I haven't really gotten to one of these in quite a while. It's been a pretty, kind of quiet period for Dokkan. So I figured now is kind of a good time to do one. There's a couple of different ideas I have for some of these team versus team videos we do, where I'm just gonna put, two teams next to each other, kind of like head to head or next to each other. Remember, it's not really a race per se, but more so that we could just kind of like get like a good look at how these characters look. Like when I'm playing this, so obviously like I did, I recorded the Blue KAIOKEN GOKU runs first, and then I did the hit runs after. Going through it, obviously I, am not really trying to just like, oh my god, go as super fast as possible. Like I let the animations play, so we can kind of see the intros and active skills and stuff like that of the characters. And, I am trying to, just play smart. I mean, obviously I'm not going to just like, take a super long time, but just, genuinely trying to play smart. Now, with these teams being the teams I picked, because it made sense, right? Golden Week teams, I realized that there's just a lot of dodge on these teams. Blue KAIOKEN GOKU himself is dodge. Hit is dodge. The UI Gokus, EGL and TEQ are dodge. TEQ Kefla's dodge. Carnival Kale and Caulifla are dodge. It's just like these teams are comprised, Hit and God Goku as well. These teams are comprised of dodge characters. So I wanted to pick difficult fights, but not really like delve into kind of like the dodge canceling area. Wasn't really what I was trying to do. So that's why we kind of, we're gonna do two fights. Really, I guess I probably only could have done one fight. Because when I did two fights, we were in an era of these fights finishing much quicker. Yeah, thinking about it, I mean, hey, what if I just do the executive decision and just only do the one fight right here? Maybe. We do the, whatchamacallit fight right here. The Vegeta Story Future Trunks Saga fight. Which, I mean, is kind of like a decent fight. This fight doesn't really have like a huge Top Gun in terms of like a damaging super attack or anything like that. The hardest hit that we would encounter in this fight is fully built up Rose in Phase 2. His super attack is scarier than the Fusion Zamasu towards the end. And the Fusion Zamasu, I mean, really is just not scary whatsoever, because he does AoE, but, I mean, the reason that the, infamous kind of like, Fusion Zamasu, Red Zone Fusion Zamasu fight was so difficult, is because of the fact that his AoE will be turn 1 instantly. So it's like, you'd kind of be, and in 2023, they only released, like, Slot 2 characters, like, it's just like a flood of, like, Slot 2 characters who would just get massacred by Fusion Zamasu. Which is kind of like the whole year, which is, which kind of, the whole year of building up frustration really exploded when Fusion Zamasu would just lay waste to most of the characters released that year, right? Whereas here, it's like we build up the Fusion Zamasu. If you can build up to it, an AoE character is really not that terrifying. They could do a really nasty AoE boss who would be a, if they would do like a 4 million AoE, like essentially like an AoE super or something like that. That obviously could be a little bit more deadly. Now, in terms of like a race factor, I do think that Blue KAIOKEN's team probably would move slightly, at least slightly faster, because of Blue KAIOKEN Goku himself, right? Like, he kind of is what he is. I mean, his damage will go up a lot more as HP goes down. But he kind of, sort of, is what he is, right? So, like, Hit really needs to build into his strength. TEQ Kefla needs to build into their strength. Hit and God Goku, right? Like, a lot... Hit's team, to me, feels much more kind of, like, build-uppy, which is sort of what they do with Universe 6 characters, right? Now, Goku and Frieza really can work well for some of these red zones. I used Goku and Frieza in the Beerus fight as well, which was definitely a mistake, by the way. Because that Beerus fight, that is the fight where Goku and Frieza can get, absolutely bullied. I mean, any boss that hits hard at all in, turn 1, 2, 3, is going to be very, 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 very scary for whatchamacallit, Goku and Frieza. Right, that Frieza is, pretty trash for the most part. So we had Daima Vegeta eat the super attack from Rose right there, which is definitely good tanking. But of course, that wasn't fully built up Rose. Once Rose is fully built up, it would be silly to put Daima Vegeta in front of it. I brought Daima Vegeta. I mean, this is more so just an opportunity for me to use Daima Vegeta, right? I don't really feel like I get much of an opportunity to really rock him too much these days. And I am more than well aware that Daima Vegeta, I mean, he will be a victim if I put him in front of Rose's built-up super attack, but as long as I don't do that, Daima Vegeta will be okay in this fight. He is really bad out of slot 1, but Fusion Zamasu is not going to be able to punish Daima Vegeta for that. No way. Right? That's not happening. So, it's not really going to be too much of an issue for us to run Daima Vegeta in this fight, and then the second fight will be the Beerus fight, where Daima Vegeta will have true type advantage the whole time through, so we'll also be fine over there. Now remember, Hit is really not going to be that crazy until he begins to really build up. We had a nice opener in this run right here for Hit and God Goku, where we were able to get them slot 1, turn 1 right away and build. I didn't notice exactly how many hits it was, but they built up either all of their attack buffs or almost all of their attack buffs. Remember, their design it's a little quirky, but I think that they're a very effective character. They get damage by being targeted in slot 1 or 2, and then they get defense by doing attacks in slot 3, right? It's an interesting design. I am in favor of characters getting defense when they attack and not when they receive hits. That getting defense when receiving hits is really bad. Now, if we go ahead and take a look over here, I gamble a little bit. This is one of my major problems with Blue Kaioken Goku, is this is a gamble right here. I choose not to use his standby, and that is very, very dangerous. But obviously, I'd rather use a standby later on, right? So that's what I choose to do. Over here on the left side, on Hit's team, we could go Kale Khalifa in slot 1, but I was like, you know what, we'll just go EGL Goku. Well, EGL Goku is going to have 80% chance to dodge. We know that he could be very effective. Remember that the 10th anniversary LRs are very, very dominant, but they do have one weakness, and that's turn 4 slot 1. And EGL Goku fucking chokes on dick right here like a piece of shit and dies. So thank you, 10th anniversary Gogeta. So very fucking much for that, by the way. Yeah, that had me hot. I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me, dude. I have talked about this a lot. That Goku, man, is a victim. In Festival Battles, he's way better than the Tech Vegeta. Way better. It's not even close. But in the Red Zone fights, that fucking Goku is a victim, dude. He is a victim. He dies. And so much for me. Now, I mean, understand, that is us failing an 80% dodge. But, I mean, you know what? Tough titties. I mean, it happened. So, Hit's team takes an L right there because of 10th anniversary Gogeta. Now, I should mention this too. If you notice, I didn't run Tech Vegito on Hit's team. Blue Kaioken Goku does not have the 10th anniversary fusions on his team. So I was not about to fucking run Tech Vegito on Hit's team to, like, uber unbalance it. No way. I felt like AGL Gogeta can fulfill kind of like a nice role as like a defense support unit, even though he failed right there and got us killed. Like, it does suck because the way he died is the exact way I wanted him to work. And then Kale and Khalifa get killed right here too. So we got 2 deaths for Hit's team. That was a gamble right there. Remember, Kale and Khalifa on their second turn, their dodge will be a lot better, right, on turn 2. But it's like, that is the weakness for Hit's team, especially if we're leaning into Universe 6. so many of these characters are just build-up characters, right? So, huge thing. On Blue KAIOKEN Goku's side right here, I really wanted to save UI Goku's domain transformation badly, so I decided to just use Goku and Frieza as active. Remember, Daima Vegeta will die in slot 1. UI Goku would finish it, but remember, UI Goku, his first turn transformed, he has 100% dodge. So I did not want to go into Fusion Zamasu and just get absolutely obliterated with him not dodging and Fusion Zamasu killing him. Remember, I did the Blue KAIOKEN Goku runs first, and in my head, I had the Blue KAIOKEN Goku's team marked as the weaker team of the two. So I would like to do the weaker team first. And, you know, I had no idea what was going to happen with Hit's team or anything like that, and I was worried if I just used TEQUI's domain right here, that the Blue KAIOKEN Goku team would have a higher chance to lose and a huge chance of falling behind, right? Now this Rose, one thing I've noticed with doing a lot of fights with him, he does tend to super almost instantly, right? As we saw right there. That was a great dodge by Goku, by the way. You know, they would have lived, but they would have taken massive fucking damage. Remember, this Rose is pretty scary at this point. So that was a great dodge right there to just allow us to have a lot of HP. Well, actually, maybe it wasn't, because I think we're probably going to pop Blue KAIOKEN Goku's standby on the next turn. Probably. Because I wanted to save it for Fusion Zamasu. Remember, Fusion Zamasu is going to have a monster pool of health, right? So it is going to take us a while to get through him. I mean, that's kind of the meta we're in. Yeah, looking at it, I think if I do, like, if we keep doing the team versus team videos, probably just going to maybe stay with one fight. Maybe I'll do, like, the Jiren Red Zone fight. Although, well, I was thinking the Vegeta family Jiren Red Zone fight. See, I wish that the Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta fights weren't so unbalanced. Because, like, the AGL Blue Goku fight is one of the hardest fights in the game, right? For sure. And the Blue Vegeta is just kind of a fish boss. Like, he does nothing pretty much. So, it's like, it's not really a very exhilarating showcase to go into the Blue Vegeta fight. And, like, if we went in the Blue Goku, it's just, like, dodge canceling. A lot of these characters would really struggle against that Blue Goku. Like, we wouldn't even really be able to effectively run them, so that's why I picked this fight right here, but, I mean, I guess it does last. I mean, even the Blue KAIOKEN Goku team, you know, with their victory, it's, you know, well over 20 minutes. Maybe I will just... I might actually just cut the Pierce side of it out, because I feel like this... I might do it, because we'll see. Here, let's just keep watching. Let's see how things are going to go. All right, so Blue KAIOKEN Goku is going to be able to drop his standby revive right here. Obviously, can do a lot more damage. I've mentioned this several times. I think that this Blue KAIOKEN Goku would be significantly better if we could utilize this as a team protector ability, but it's risky to do that, because when Blue KAIOKEN Goku's intro goes away, right? So his intro's gone, and no one on the team has revived yet. He is a fish. And so at that point, like, we could go into the standby once his intro's over, basically at any point we want, but we would like to typically save it for the hardest boss, right? Which I did do in this run. I took the risk and saved it for the hardest boss, and then, I mean, there we go, you know, 54 million crit right there is beautiful. Much better to pop that right there than earlier. And then now we can kind of, you see we've got a lot of momentum. We can go into TEQ Goku's domain, and we're, you know, good to go. Now TEQ Goku is going to have 100% dodge right here. We're going to have no fears of UI Goku failing or getting tapped or anything like that. Tech Blue KAIOKEN Goku probably should be A-okay. I mean, if we're running him, you know, in slot 2, you know, this deep into the fight, we're probably going to be okay. Meanwhile, on Hit's team, just gotta, you know, get back up to the kind of like the end portions of the fight, which we will kind of, you know, slowly get to, and see how that goes. Yeah, you know what? I think I probably will we'll just leave it just at this Fusion Zamasu fight, because otherwise I feel like this video will probably go on too long. Last year, again, when we were in the kind of like the 9th year meta, it's like, you know, those fights were much shorter. Oftentimes, you know, a fight would be like 10 minutes or so, whereas now, I mean, fights, you know, typically are going to be like 20 minutes plus. Although I'm not really like a super speed runner like type player. Like that moving fast is not something I'm really good at. I like to be more like slow, methodical, stuff like that. That's why sometimes I can make silly mistakes on video, is because while recording a video and moving through a run, I mean, it's not really good engaging content to usually just sit there and think about moves and really consider things. And I'm usually trying to keep a brisk pace going forward, right? And that's just my background from loving like turn-based games, right? Like I would always just... Yeah, I grew up on Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Tactics, you know, all those GOAT games right there. TEQ Goku will continue to get his counters in. Obviously, he is, you know, not really going to do the most damage ever, but at the very least, we know he's not going to take any damage either. And then here we go. We have AGL Goku coming back out. I mean, we got to rely on AGL Goku to actually, you know, pull it off for us. Because it's not like I'm going to want to, you know, do something like throw, you know, untransformed hit in slot 1. That would be foolish, right? Like, this is one of the main reasons I did bring AGL Gogeta on the team, was for this right here. And then, you know, towards the end of the fight, we could have AGL Gogeta, you know, transform into his fusion and drop his active skill and do all that good stuff right there, right? All right, so... Unfortunately, Fusion Zamasu does have a damage threshold, which, remember, is something that can kind of hold us back quite a bit. The, you know, pesky damage thresholds. It's definitely one of my least favorite mechanics that, like, boss mechanics that exists in the game, is bosses having the ability to, you know, just take 0 damage. Because it just spits in the face of so many characters' abilities, right? Like, them dropping... physical Rose Goku Black is still so crazy to me. In like, you know, when like one of the toughest fights was the damage threshold against like the Beast Gohan fight, right? Like, you know, pretty insane to me that they're, you know, kind of like leaning into that so much. So many characters, you know, with their, you know, 70% chance to super, you know, 50% chance to super. And then a lot of times, I mean, that would just end up, you know, with 0 damage that we will actually be doing to the boss. Now, Blue KAIOKEN Goku and some of these characters can start to get to some impressive attack stat numbers. You know, we now have the domain up. You know, we're pretty deep in the fight here. Our HP was low. So with our HP being low, obviously Tech Blue KAIOKEN is able to do a lot more damage, right? And then over here, Hit and God Goku were able to get the job done for us this time. So, I mean, we are going to be good to go. Remember, the team is going to work quite good once Tech Kefla transforms, once we're able to swap into Goku, once Hit transforms, right? I mean, Hit is definitely not the best before he transforms. I think Hit gets quite the increase in power once he actually transforms. On the Blue KAIOKEN Goku team right here, I was a little bummed because I wanted to get just a field of physical orbs. I wanted to get those for Daima Vegeta, but I wasn't able to. And again, remember, Daima Vegeta is a high damage reduction character, so if he has type advantage, true type advantage, like a boss like this Fusion Zamasu is not going to be able to do very much to him, right? So that's why, like, Daima Vegeta is definitely, like, a good pick for this fight, provided we don't let Rose just saw him in half. Once Rose has his big attack buff up. So we're over here on turn 5. So remember, Tech Kefla. We're not able to transform with Kefla and bring her out up until we get to turn 6. So it's going to take us a little bit. Now Hit is able to transform. So this is big. This is actually one of my favorite animations in the game right here. Hit's kind of like a transformation or stance change or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's because I think Hit is just like the fucking coolest, and I really like Hit's voice actor. I think he just sounds so damn cool, right? So Hit is able to kind of you know, really hold business down for us. I went ahead and popped the Frieza's handout active skill. Again, I think they did a pretty bad job with the Miracle of Universe 7 In order for that to do good damage, you got to do like very unnatural kind of like bullshit. It's not really an active skill that's going to be able to lay a hammer down, but there is a lot of value. We also didn't have any orbs, right? There is a lot of value in the orb changing and healing, though, of that Frieza's handout ability. And it gives a nice little attack buff, right? Like, it's can lead to a nice looking turn if, you know, we maybe use the Frieza's handout ability and then swap over to Frieza for damage. Can work pretty well. Earlier, we saw Goku dodge Rose's super, and then here was Goku eating the super, obviously, for a lot more damage. I think Goku, I'd have to double check, but Goku and Frieza, are they on the 220% on both leader skills? I'd have to just quickly double check. I think they aren't on hits, right? Which is why the damage they took there was so high. No, they are. Tournament participants are super bosses, so they're on the 220% for both teams. Yeah, they definitely are. Because Blue Kaio-Ken is also for tournament participants, so any tournament participant character on either Blue Kaio-Ken Goku's team or Hit's team is going to be able to get the full 220% buffs, right? Because remember, tournament participants ended up sort of being kind of like the category for the year, right? It seems like basically every single character that comes out this year, most of these premium releases, so many characters are actually, you know, tournament participants. Again, tournament participants is kind of like the biggest thing. All right, so Kale and Khalifa, they're able to get their stacks in. Next time they show up, we'll be able to transform into Tech Kefla, and we'll be able to handle business. We're also, I think coming up, I do like start to toss out some of these actives, right? I mean, it is silly. If not for AGL Goku getting tapped, I mean, we probably would have won on the first run. It is a tough pill to swallow. Like, if we're going to do these team versus team videos, definitely is a tough pill to swallow when you fail an 80% dodge. Right, an 80% dodge was brutal. But, I mean, that the Rose is definitely handed me a lot of game overs moving forward. I brought Evolution Blue Vegeta 2 on the team. Remember, this is not a fight that can really cause Evolution Blue Vegeta to struggle. I mean, he certainly can be fairly effective, although I was really pumped when I saw I actually had the ability to use Hit and God Goku's active. A lot of times that one is tough for me to trigger, so I was very, very happy seeing I was able to get that one in. Yeah, but SCR Evolution Blue Vegeta, I mean, he definitely can be pretty effective, right? Kind of like a... I mean, I don't know how I want to word this. Like, is basic the correct word? But, I mean, he kind of just is going to sit there in slot 2 or slot 3. We get him a lot of orbs, and he potentially can do a lot of damage, right? Like, once he's done enough super attacks to get to that guaranteed crit that he's got, and then, you know, once he's got that up, and if he gives us a turn where he does do a lot of supers, I mean, he can definitely put up a lot of damage, right? But, I mean, it depends. Good to see that Vegeta... He is actually able to do enough damage, though. Even his normals are actually damaging Fusion Zamasu in terms of getting past his damage threshold. So that's pretty good. Now, I was going back and forth on if I should use Kale's active or if I should use Caulifla's active, I believe. I'm pretty sure I do end up going with Caulifla's active, actually. Since we have so many Universe 6 characters on the team, playing into the support, I felt like would be better. And then their Evolution Blue Vegeta, he would have tanked that super by Fusion Zamasu, I think, pretty handily. But what a piece of shit Fusion Zamasu is. Dude, these pesky bosses, man. I don't know what it's like for other players, but against me, it's very often that a boss will try and tag me with slot 3 supers, man. I see that so much. Now, I don't know if it's maybe because I play the game more than other people or what, but we definitely see a huge amount of slot 3 super attacks coming in. So Fusion Zamasu tried it right there, but even if Evolution Blue Vegeta didn't dodge it, he would have eaten it fine, so we would have been A-okay. Now, remember, the 2 active skills we can use with Kale and Caulifla, Carnival, Kale, and Caulifla right here. Kale will give the character, just that, Kale and Caulifla, a massive permanent damage buff. But by doing the Caulifla active skill, we get massive, well, not really massive, but a very sizable attack and defensive buff and I think a little bit of ki for the entire team, right? Which is kind of what I chose to go with instead. Yeah, we'll just leave it to the one run. So the Blue KAIOKEN Goku team does, beat us to the finish line by quite a bit. Again, I would blame... I mean, Kale and Khalifa got tagged turn 1. That's not really the biggest deal. But that AGL Goku getting tagged moment did frustrate me. Now, I used hits time skip too, by the way. I didn't want to chance it. Kale is pretty tanky, but that Rose is very scary. I mean, he might be, I think, the scariest, like, STR boss super pretty much in the game. That Rose super, once he's fully built up, probably is scarier even than the STR Jiren in the Universal Survival Saga stage. I know that Jiren, I think his super attack damage is 5.7 million, but remember, Rose lowers your defense, right? That defensive debuff that Rose has is no joke. So it's not a good thing to try, and like overlook that or anything like that. Okay, so here's Gogeta. I figured, no reason to hold back on Gogeta. We'll just get him out here. We'll drop his active skill. Again, I didn't bring Tech Vegito because I felt like it would kind of be a bit of a mismatch for the teams too badly if I brought Tech Vegito as well. And, I mean, we could kind of get the team feeling pretty thematic having, Kale and Khalifa and, Tech Kefla and, a lot of those different types of characters. I thought about running Automagetta and Piccolo for the two teams. I was close to running Piccolo. Piccolo is actually, like, I mean, I don't want to go too crazy with praises for him, but he's like a runnable character. Automagetta is just like so bad. Like I think Automagetta is the worst designed character in Dokkan history. Not really the biggest deal, because considering he's just a banner unit, like, it's not that important. I think Raditz is certainly more egregious. Being a Dokkan Festival exclusive character who sucks donkey cock is bad, right? Whereas, like, Automagetta, like, we could kind of just, like, laugh and move on. Raditz is, kind of like a pain in the heart that we have to deal with. Hopefully, I am still really hopeful that Raditz will get a King Kong-sized EZA. Raditz definitely should. Like, he absolutely should have, like, just like a monster truck EZA. So, hopefully we will actually see that. Now, after transforming the hits, getting Gogeta out, we have the Scouter. Remember that the Carnival Kale and Khalifa's active skill, massive buff is hitting us as well. So at this point, we're not really, I think, going to be running into too much danger when it comes to taking hits from a lot of these bosses. I think we are going to be more than fine, right? Like, I don't really think that there's too much for us to really be concerned about for the rest of this fight. I mean, I guess if we, like, really get, like, super risky, perhaps, but overall, we should be pretty good to go, right? To just do it's just a matter of whittling Zamasu's massive HP pool down, and I mean, that's no exaggeration that HP pool is ridiculously massive, right? It is. He has a huge HP pool. A lot of these bosses do, and I think that's one frustration players have this year. I mean, it is interesting though, like, because people wanted longer fights, and Dokkan listened to them and gave people longer fights, and people were like, well, actually, we don't like that. So it's like I gotta imagine like a Matsu or one of these guys is reading, like social media reception, and one of these fuckers has got to be pulling their hair out, like slamming the desk, like, the fuckers wrote in survey after survey after survey, give us a chance to build our characters up and transform our characters. We give it to them, and now they're saying we're the worst ever, and we're bitches for releasing the content, right? I could only imagine how fucking frustrating that shit would be. But I mean, I definitely do think they went a little excessive with some of these bosses' HP pools. Most of these red zone bosses, to me, could have at minimum had like 100 million HP shaved off of the last phase. Even like the red zone blue Goku, red zone blue Vegeta. Because what happens is a lot of times it doesn't really feel like it's like like, on winning runs, it's not like, oh, fuck, dude. You know, thank goodness we just finished the boss off because next turn all of our abilities were running out or something like that. That's not really the case. Typically, we get control of the fight, and then it's like, all right, guys, you know, we kind of are in a bit of a stalemate here. Like, the boss, usually for the last couple of turns, doesn't really feel like they're a real threat to killing us in a lot of the runs I have, right? So it does feel like the fights, rather than the massive HP total, it's not like a measure of difficulty of the boss, but more so just that the fight feels like it's dragging out, is the thing, right? So, I think that, like, you know, having the content being longer and stuff like that is fine, but maybe some of these bosses should not just feel like, you know, like an impenetrable titan that we're just, like, attacking over and over and over, and it just doesn't even feel like we're even chipping away at them, right? Like, that probably would have been kind of a big deal. Alright, so we have Tech Kefla out. She's kind of getting her super attacks in and stuff like that. Remember, Kefla is going to be stacking every single time she supers. I do like what they did with Tech Kefla quite a bit, especially, you know, if we talk about, like, Festival or something like that. You know, Kefla really can become quite impressive, you know, because she has 2 guaranteed additional supers. That's such a fire line of dialogue in a passive. 2 additional super attacks is just, like, so good. So that will allow her to constantly be able to put these super attacks out, right? They're not giving these characters these days everything, right? Like, Kefla doesn't have built-in crits. You know, Mercenary Tao doesn't have additionals. LRTN doesn't have additionals. Like, they're giving the characters a lot of tools, but not everything. And, I mean, it is funny seeing people kind of, like, harp on the one thing the character's missing, but it's like, yeah, I mean, we could do this about every character. I mean, if they make, like, people do forget it's a gacha game. Like, unfortunately, like, we're playing a gacha. So, it's like, they're not going to make the characters perfect in every way to where they're never going to age out, because despite the fact that people, you know, want the characters to last a long time, I mean, that's going to be rare. You know, characters like Tech Ultimate Gohan are not the standard. It's the reason Tech Ultimate Gohan is looked on so favorably, right? Orange Piccolo is not the standard. So, like, a typical, like, character, like, life cycle, who is, like, a real, like, normal one? I don't know. I mean, something like, it's tough. I mean, I'd have to think about it. Because oftentimes, remember, anniversary LRs end up dominating kind of the whole year. The EZA anniversary LRs, you know, dominate the whole year. Like right now, last year is the 6th anniversary LRs. This year, it's the 7th anniversary LRs. You know, there are just certain characters that just are always made stronger than others. Just kind of the way it is. Because it's like, I don't know, the Golden Week characters last couple of years have been so powerful. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Blue KAIOKEN Goku, but, you know, they've been so good and have lasted so long. 23rd World Tournament Goku, Piccolo Jr., a lot of those level of characters have just been so effective for so very long. So, I mean, those aren't really, you know, what we're going to expect to see too often. Yeah, right about here, we're kind of, like, beginning to wrap up the fight. Should be able to get a lot of damage in on this turn, with Hit and God Goku, Hit, and then Goku and Frieza getting the Dokkan attack right here. We should be able to begin wrapping up the fight. I probably will do another one of these team versus team videos coming up. I think I'm probably going to do it for the 2 yellow coin LRs we've gotten. LR PyCon versus LRTN. I actually really like the direction they've taken the yellow coin LRs. You know, making the yellow coin LR characters legitimate leaders to me. You know, 2 leader skills of 200%. So I'll probably do a video with that. Because the thing is, both TN and PyCon have the 10th anniversary fusions on their teams too. So, like, their teams are going to be very effective for us. So I probably will rock the 10th anniversary fusions, probably on both of those teams when we do that video. It is funny because we're going to have a lot of content coming up once LRTN drops. You know, there's, you know, a red zone stage, there's a major EZA, there's just a lot of stuff coming. It always is so silly to go from, like, one day, like, we've just got nothing going on, and then the next day, you know, oh, the clock turns over 1 minute, and then we're now in the next day, and there's just an avalanche of stuff that we can, you know, talk about, do, like, all that different kind of stuff. Alright, so looks like next turn, we'll be able to go ahead and finish off Fusion Zamasu. Probably going to be able to get the Carnival Kale in slot 1. Carnival Kale, you could think of Carnival Kale kind of like Daima Vegeta, but rather than being locked to slot 1, Carnival Kale is just kind of like make sure she has a lot of ki, and Carnival Kale will be okay, right? The Kale and Khalifa card, they do struggle for ki a lot more if we go for the Khalifa active skill, by the way. Because the Kale active gives a lot more permanent ki to the unit. So, again, ki is just much less of an issue. But by popping the Khalifa active, we get the support across. Now, turn 10. So I think both teams did actually finish on turn 10, huh? Because it was turn 10, right, when the Blue KAIOKEN Goku team finished. So it's like that was close, but we did have 2 deaths on the hit side, where we didn't have any deaths for the Blue KAIOKEN Goku side, which is good. I am very happy that the Blue KAIOKEN Goku team was able to just kind of like slide through without any issues or any bullshit kind of showing up. Definitely very happy about that. So, all right, we are finishing up. Let me know what you guys think about the team versus team series. I think the last one I did, it was during the global 9th anniversary. It was, I think, the Beast Gohan superhero team versus the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 superhero team. Maybe I'll do another one too. We do have the Worldwide Download Celebration coming up, which is now the Global Dokkan Celebration. You know, so some of the guesses by the community, Daima, you know, maybe like Namek ROF. I haven't really heard of a third good one. I mean, anything involving Super Saiyans or hype characters is good with me. We are not in a position to do Saiyan Saga or OG Dragon Ball. Like, we need, like, Blue Fusions or really hype stuff, because, like, right now, like, the interest in the game is just very, very low. Right, so we need the pinnacle of hype type stuff dropping. So, let me know what you guys think. I guess I'll just get to this last screen here, and I'll catch you guys next time.